We've tried a few different varieties of melting down metal and pouring it into clear ice. This time we've got a bunch of lead and we want to see if it has a similar reaction to what we've seen before or if we'll get something new. Here's the basic idea. We picked up a whole lot of lead fishing sinkers from a local supercenter. We're gonna throw them down in our crucible and melt those suckers down. And while they're melting, we'll drill a hole about 60% of the way through our block of clear ice, mix the two together, and see if we can get them to explode. Having the lead rest on top of the block of ice is pretty fun. The heat from the lead gets transferred down into the ice and it just carves a funny texture over the whole thing. Lead melts at a much lower temperature than the other metals we've tried, so I suspect this will go quite a bit faster. Whew. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Holy crap! I love it when it explodes. Oh, that was intense. That was a big explosion. Woo! Wow. Shattered that block of ice. Just tore it apart. Pop this off so it stops lighting things on fire. Let's look at the damage from this one. Oh, our poor GoPro got exploded off the shelf. This is the same GoPro that got brass on it, molten brass, when we tested molten brass in ice. And you can still see some of the brass is still embedded in the GoPro. It's still stuck there, but still counting despite a foreign body and having just been blown backwards off the table. I don't know what makes the difference. It seemed like when we did aluminum and it exploded, we had more small pieces, like it shattered. Whereas the lead definitely tore the block of ice into pieces. I mean, we have a good spread. We've got ice like 6-8 feet away from the table and then just in lots of big pieces, but it's in mostly big pieces. There's not tons of tiny little shards. And that could be that the ice was colder when we did it with the aluminum. Like it was cold in the dome, and so the ice stayed really cold. Whereas today it's fairly warm in the dome, and so maybe the ice wasn't as cold. I know what you're thinking, ice is ice, it's freezing cold. But when we've done this before, it was actually like 10, 15 degrees Fahrenheit here in the dome. So it really was keeping it colder than the freezing temperature of ice. Wow, where did all the metal go? Gonna have to watch that on slow-mo. I think it probably just got blown into the air or something like that, scattered, which is why I was 60 feet away outside the dome. It's mostly gone. Like there's little bits on the table here and there, but that crucible was full. It had a tiny bit left in it when I took it out, poured it out. We just have formerly molten metal strewn about on the ground of the dome in here. We've had a lot of melted metal in here. We've seen this effect before. We have this sort of cone pyramid shape left over. This is where I drilled using the spade bit down into the ice, and it broke down away from that, but you can still see the point right where the drill bit was. Here's what remains of our giant block of clear ice. It's pretty well been smashed into a bunch of pieces. It's weird that it completely destroyed the bottom one. Here is all of the lead that I was able to find, just scattered around the table and when I poured some out of the crucible trying to get it out of our metal cup. I'd say we have a fair amount of it here, but we're still probably missing at least 30 to 40% of it. So some of that must have just been scattered when the ice exploded. My only explanation. So lead in a block of ice exploded the ice. Salt, we got to explode a block of ice. Aluminum, we got to explode a block of ice. Copper and brass both didn't explode. We had them cast somewhat down in the ice. We had them geyser up out of the ice somewhat. And those were both really cool to watch. but they weren't the explosion that happens from the aluminum and the lead. Now, aluminum and lead both melt at much lower temperatures than brass and copper. So maybe there's something there. I'm still guessing it has to do with the specific heat of each material that we try it with. Maybe more testing is still in order. Guys, there's still more for you to see. That little box up at the top will transport you directly to our last video. The box at the bottom will show you what YouTube thinks you should be watching next, and this bomb here in the middle will subscribe you to the channel so you never miss a video. Don't forget to ring that bell, and we will see you in the next one. Talk to you then.